what's up, man? You got any wrestling stories or sports stories for this week's episode?
I'm sure. I can always think of something. What did we talk about last time?
We were talking about Ric Flair.
Yeah, we talked about Rick last time. The time before that, we talked about Andre checking Hulk Hogan's oil. Yeah. I probably could have did a better job playing this, right? Now I'm like on the spot, and I can't really think of it. I'm not even wearing a wrestling T-shirt just because my day was so busy.
I know you got your Black Panther.
Oh, well, yeah, rep when I can. Okay, I can think of one. Remember the Iron Sheik?
Yeah.
You remember the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty? Yeah, Marty Jannetty, Marty Andretti. Anyway.
Jannetty?
Yeah, Marty
Andretti is the race car driver.
Yeah. So I heard Marty Jannetty tell this story once about how they were at a bar, him and the Iron Sheik and, a bunch of wrestlers. That's what they did. After they would have a show, they would just go drink, let off 16, whatever. This is in the 80s, so Jannetty's like a player. Like, him and Shawn Michaels, like, they were like the heartthrobs, so they're getting broad. So he was plotting on this new one that he had met at the bar, but he already had one that he was, supposed to shack up with. He wanted to get with the new one. So
Wait, were they both at the bar?
Yes.
So he came with the joint that he was going to shack up with.
Mm-hmm. But he met a new one at the bar. Exactly.
That he wanted.
Yes. So he was like, talking to the Iron Sheik, Sheiky baby, won't you go?
That's what he called him.
Yeah, a lot of people call him Sheiky baby. Sheiky baby, won't you go ahead and keep this one on ice, and I'll go handle business with this other one. Sheik's like, oh, all right, Marty, I take care of it for you. You're my friend, and I do. So they go. Marty's doing whatever, and he's with the chick.
Sheiky baby.
All of a sudden, he sees like ambulance and a cop car showing up to the hotel that they're at, and he's like, what the hell's going on? So he goes over to Iron Sheik's door, and as he's going over to the door, he notices the girl that he showed up to the hotel with going away on like an ambulance gurney. So he knocks on Iron Sheik's door.
What happened?
I'm guessing they must have been in the girls' room first because Sheik was still there. Mm-hmm. Like cops didn't see him or anything, and he's like, "Who is it? That you, Marty? Okay, you come in." And Marty's like, well, damn, Sheik, I just left you with the girl. What the hell happened?
I didn't say her.
But yeah, right. Marty's like, and Sheik's like, so Marty, I do you a favor. I want to have a good time with the girl because I want to do a favor for you. So I have the girl. We are chilling. I give the girl. She want alcohol, so I give her alcohol. She want cocaine, so I give her cocaine. We are just relaxing. I am trying to set mood, and all of a sudden, girl goes, "Where is Marty? Where is Marty coming back?" So I go, "No offense, Marty. Oh, fuck Marty Jannetty. I'm the one to give you beer. I'm the one to give you cocaine. Why the fuck would you want to go to Marty Jannetty?" And then Marty's like, "Well, what happened?" He's like, "So I clotheslined her."
What?
Yeah. And he's like, "Why would you think the clothesline her? What the hell's wrong with you?" And she, well, Marty, I thought she could take clothesline better, but apparently she cannot take bump.
It was reaction.
Yeah. So he just thought just regular Caucasian woman that it was okay to clothesline her.
So he thought it was cool to get her drunk, get her coked up, and then clothesline her.
Correct. Right. Get her drunk, get her coked up, then try to get the draws. But then when she did get the draws, Iranian sickle.
I heard that.
Yeah.
You spent money on your alcohol, you spent money on the cocaine, she's in your hotel room.
And the first thing she's talking about is Marty.
Yeah, like, no, what are you doing in my hotel room, drinking my alcohol, snorting my cocaine?
Worrying about him.
You're not going to give me the draws?
Mm-hmm. Clothesline.
Yeah, easy. She could have got, she's lucky he put her in the camel club.
Wouldn't condone. Oh, right. I think had she moved after the clothesline, maybe she'd consider it, but
he probably did and didn't want to mention because he knew it was overkill.
Right. She already on the ambulance. Never mind, Marty. She fine.
That's actually what happened. You put her in the camel clutch, but to make it seem not so bad, it's like
not so deliberate.
I clotheslined her.
Right. Quick reactionary clothesline, other than stepping over or putting the legs around her. Yeah.
Next day, Marty's like, you clotheslined it, right? But they said her back.
Right. So why the vertebrae? Why all the vertebrae issue? Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know about that. I have to practice.
Right. So yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, that's
always didn't want to disappoint.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Tune in next time, we'll have more. You know what I mean?
Sheiky baby, man, vicious.
Who's an excellent Twitter follow. if you don't already follow him.
Speaking of wrestling, man, Anvil died.
Yeah, Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, member of the Heart Foundation, 63 years old.
Of what though, do you know?
So the report was that he fell and busted his head and didn't recover.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he had been dealing with health issues for some time now. You know, most of your older wrestlers.
Wow, that's crazy. And the thing is that they're not that old.
In the grand scheme of life.
Right, I guess in wrestling years.
Yeah.
You got to even say that now. How old are you in wrestling years?
Right. It's like Roddy Piper a few years ago when he was on HBO Real Sports talking about how he would get some type of pension, some type of relief when he was 65 and just laughing at it like, there's no way in hell I'm making 65. He died when he was 62.
Man.
Yeah, no, 65 is just like a guy, like that's like the Holy Grail, which is amazing that Ric Flair made it considering he drank half of Georgia.
But, all that drinking, all that partying, like rock stars, so to speak.
Yeah.
But on top of just being a rock star, living that lifestyle as far as alcohol and drugs concerned, they've got the physical.
Right. It's like a rock star if they fell down the steps 3 times during a concert.
And you know, the crazy thing is I didn't find out until I was, I guess, like an adult that wrestlers were on the road all those other nights out of the week. I kind of just thought it was like a weekend.
Right.
Because that's what you
TV. Yeah. Never mind Monday in Tucson,
right.
Wednesday in Albuquerque, Thursday in Des Moines.
Off that top rope.
And then the weekend shows. And a lot of times there would be 1 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like they do a matinee and an evening show.
It's got to be scripted.
So
you know, when you think about it, like
and with all that going on, you can imagine how somebody could forget what happens in the script, and that could lead to an injury. You know, it's an insane life. It's thoroughly entertaining,
and especially if you don't really become truly successful at it. You know, you're just out there taking a beating.
Yeah, and those are the ones who typically take more of a beating because you know you got to get the crowd to react. Yeah. You know, your superstars, they can just do like a little eye gouge or just put their arms up to the crowd. I love you! But, you know, your indies, they got to like jump off the top rope like head first and like land on the nape of their neck to get some type of reaction. Like, you see how my arms wiggling? I broke it! I'm the man! I broke my arms, I'm the man! Like, you know, so it's a rough life, man.
Yeah, man.
It's so entertaining.
Oh, I haven't watched it since the early.
I get that. Yeah, I got the network. I was watching it. I was actually watching a 1989 Saturday's Night main event before I came over here today.
Who was on ticket?
It was Hulk Hogan and Honky Tonk Man. It was Macho Man. I can't remember who Macho Man was fighting, but he was in it too. Yeah, good stuff.
Now, would you say wrestlers from that era you have more affinity for than modern wrestlers? Oh my God. Is it because they had to be as alluring, but they weren't allowed to be as edgy as wrestlers are today?
I would probably just blame it on watching it through kid eyes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember somebody once saying your hero when you're 4 is going to be your hero as an adult. Mm-hmm. So just the fact that I would just idolize them when I was, like my first TV memory was pro wrestling.
Really?
So yeah, it was all I wanted to think about when I was a child. So like when I buy those pro wrestling t-shirts now, I only buy people that I messed with in the 80s or a couple of people from ECW just because I was out of Philadelphia. But now I'm watching it almost like an uncle that like, you know, watched it grow from like, you know, yay high to where it is now. But yeah, it's a different lens.
Yeah, I mean, because I never got into like Steve Austin. And
right.
It just wasn't really my thing at that point in time. But I do remember being a kid, and like at first, my first favorite was Ricky the Dragon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how could he not be? He comes into the ring, he's spitting fire.
Right, yeah. He even had a little dragon a couple times. He came to the ring when he was doing the thing with Jake the Snake, yeah.
You know, so yeah, it was my favorite. Then it go back and forth between him and Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior, you know, things of that nature. But I often think sometimes, like, was it because, you know, they were so over the top and so entertaining, but they kind of still had to keep it clean to some degree? I feel like wrestlers now, not that I watch a whole lot of it, I think they can be a lot edgier.
So now they actually can't, but there was a period
time where they could.
Like, you know, late 90s and the early aughts where, yeah, you know, you might see like a nipple flash or crotch chops and all that other stuff. Like, that stuff is pretty... It's more kid-based now because that's where the money is, more or less. They were getting a lot of, you know, college and high school money back in those days. But yeah, no, it's not as edgy as it was then. But I think even if it was edgy back then, I don't think that would have changed my fandom. Maybe would have changed how much my mother allowed me to watch it. But probably not me. But I could see that being a scenario with kids not being able to watch it as much.
Right, because even back then, it was because I used to watch, it was WWF and WCW.
Superstars at 10, no, Challenge at 10, Superstars at 11, and NWA at 1 o'clock on Saturdays. It used to come on right after Good Times. I remember hearing that Good Times in music and knowing I'm going to get my NWA fix. And it's weird because one of my coworkers is from New York, and all they got was WWF. Like, they couldn't get NWA because Vince had a stranglehold on New York. So us being in Philadelphia was sort of the best of everything because we would get all types of different federations. Like, it'd be Saturday night, 1 a.m. I'm getting stuff from Memphis, or I'm getting stuff from Texas at like midnight. Like, and I would scour television until I found it because I knew it was on somewhere. But in New York, all they could watch was WWF. Oh, wow. So yeah, we were in the catbird seat. Yeah. Yeah, wrestling territories in themselves. It's a really unique sort of thing.
Yeah, I was reading something about how back in the day,
Not that anybody would, but if you chose to, I'd recommend it. This writer, his name's Paul O'Brien, he wrote a fictional trilogy based on 70s wrestling called Blood Red Turns Dollar Green. And he like sought out different wrestling minds, that we grew up watching. And, just to get an idea of how it worked back in the day. And it's a really good series. Like, I read all 3 books. It's entertaining. It's kind of like The Sopranos meets wrestling, which may not be too far from the truth when you think about how territory used to work back in the day with a dad having it and their son being the top dog, star, and maybe then eventually your son would take it over, that type of thing. So, yeah, it's a weird business.
No, wrestling wasn't my.
It's fascinating.
I have certain memories of it back in the day. I remember Dusty Rhodes bleeding all over the place. I guess it was like one of those razor blade kind of.
Yeah, and even that, like, you grow up and you realize, like, some people would they would just take like a corner of the razor blade, just a corner triangle, tape it to their finger and wrap tape around it, and then when it was time, unravel the tape, cut themselves. Some people would keep a blade in their mouth. Some people keep a blade in their trunks. Yeah, right. I would think taping it somewhere. Like, if you taped it inside the elastic and put the tape opposite your skin, that might be I would do that before I put the shit in my mouth while you're wrestling. All types of cardio, heavy breathing. Yeah. That ain't a Dorito, that's a goddamn razor, right? And they don't stop there. Exactly. Like, right. Yeah, that's a no end game. So. Yeah.
What was I thinking, brother?
Right. Put those things on my finger next time, brother. Yeah, but that
razor blade comes out whole again.
It's like everything you learn about it just makes it that much more fascinating. Like, how does it work when someone from America wrestles someone from Japan or another country? Like, because the primary tenet on it is them sort of covering up when they're talking about what they're going to do. All right, I'm going to throw you into the tournament. We're going to do this, but I'm going to suplex, blah, blah, blah. But you're working with somebody that speaks a totally different language. So how do you communicate? You know what I mean? Like,
this motherfucker speaking Japanese.
Right. Like, what you go? So, yeah, man, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Things I never knew.
Yeah, man. I feel like every week I drop some kind of jewel.
I told you, I was a wrestling fan in the '80s, early '90s. I've been out of wrestling people for a long time.
Yeah. Whereas, like I said, watched about 6 hours ago.
Still going strong.